All right, everyone, welcome back, welcome in. I hope you're all doing well. Today is another client session. We are working on Sarah, who I believe you have met in my videos before. Not personally, but you've certainly seen me do her nails. She is one of my Gel X girlies, and we are doing a new set on her today. Starting as always with the removal, which I did not show. But going into prepping her nails. Right now I am putting some talc on her nail beds to help dry them out a bit. I did have it in a decorative jar and was applying it with a brush before, but not really sanitary to keep dipping a brush into a jar that is going to, where the contents are going to go on to another client. So put it in the squeeze bottle, that way everything stays closed and sanitary and there is no issue with cross-contamination. So after I put on the talc, I'm just going in with my cuticle safety bit to push back and clean the proteins off of the nail plate before going in and doing the rest of the prep. So I have done this process before in other videos. It's pretty straightforward. Going in with talc, pushing back the cuticles, using the cuticle nail bit to pull the cuticle off of the nail plate gently. It is rated for use on the natural nail plate. Make sure that you always choose the right bit for the right purpose. And then going from there in with the flame bit, which you'll see in a little bit. I believe I used the flame bit on her. I just started recently using it. I picked them up after going to Premiere Orlando, and it is definitely a game changer. Sarah does have some really dry cuticles, some issues with her skin around the nail plate that I tread very carefully with. It's not something that I want to mess around with. I, buff it as much as possible when I get to that with the cuticle ball bit. But right now, as mentioned, I'm going in with the flame bit. The flame bit is tapered at the tip, so it helps you get in under the proximal nail fold and lift it, just to make sure that you are not going too deep. You don't want to run the risk of leaving the area open for foreign elements to get in and cause infections or other problems. You just want to gently lift it away so that you can clean up the proteins under and around it to really create that seamless look of the gel coming out from the proximal nail fold. And since it is a diamond bit, you can go up on the skin with it, which is usually what you do. You go up under the nail fold and around the side walls and clean the proteins away from the nail plate and then buff the skin around it to give it that really nice clean look. And then once you do that, you can go in with your nippers like I'm doing here and clip away any of the hanging skin and make it nice and neat and fresh. Now you can see the dry skin around her nail plate on her pointer finger. I'm not going to clip anything away. The best thing for her to do would just be to keep putting lotion on her hands, keeping the area dry and moisturized, rehydrating with cuticle oil just so that the skin can stay nice and healthy. But I'm going ahead and repeating all the steps with her now left hand, my right side, and then we're going to get into buffing the nail plate with a sanding band and then going in with the cuticle ball bit to further buff out and smooth out her skin.
Scale the world in half.
All right, now that we've done that, we can go in and start getting ready to apply the DGel nail tips. I'm sizing them out right now. I have sprayed her hands with isopropyl alcohol to get all of the dust off the nails. You don't want your clients to wash their hands at this point because you don't want to reintroduce moisture into the nail plate. Aside from the fact that that could inhibit the proper adhesion of the products, it could also lead to bacterial growth from moisture being trapped on the nail plate underneath an enhancement. So just make sure that all the dust is removed as best as possible. You can spray with isopropyl alcohol, wipe with acetone, make sure you really dehydrate the nails, and then go in with your prep for applying the nails. So we are doing medium length almond shaped nails. And I'm sizing both her right hand and her left hand independently since the nails can change width and definitely length, pinky to pinky, thumb to thumb. Going in with the prep, we are starting with the dehydrator. Then I'm going to go in with the protein bond, which is part of the DGel series. It's a 4-step process. And then I'm going to prep the nail tips themselves with the what's the prep liquid called? It is called DGel Prep Acid-Free Tip Primer. It is in a silver bottle and is specifically for chemically etching the underside of the DGel tips. It's always better to use something that's going to chemically etch versus going in and sanding it with an efile or your hand file, because then you're creating more dust that can get trapped underneath and make it difficult for the nails to actually adhere properly. Make sure also when you're applying your primer to the natural nail plate that you give a minute in between putting on the primer and putting on the gel so that the primer has time to really set up and evaporate to a certain extent, because the first time that I ever did this process on my own nails, the primer turned yellow underneath the tips and I ended up having to remove it and redo the whole set again. But going in now and chemically etching, and then we're going to get into the application process. So I've gone and set up my flash curing lamp to the left. You can see it in the side of the frame. And I've placed a good amount of gel on the tip itself. Not too much. You don't want it to leak out past the free edge of the natural nail. And then you want to put it down at the cuticle line at an angle, like I was 15, 20 degree angle, and then slowly press it forward until the gel hits the natural free edge. You can hold it down with one thumb while you put it underneath the light, cure the tip, and then once that's cured, you can gently remove your finger and cure the back of it, which generally speaking is how I do it, just to make sure that the nail stays in place and doesn't move in the curing process. And then once you get one secured, you really only need to flash it for 8 seconds, not even. You can move on to the next nail. Now, generally speaking, I usually have problems doing the thumbs for some reason. Just, you're working in tandem with your client. They need to move along with you. Working on top of an armrest, their hand is more elevated when the thumb is facing up. So it's a little bit more difficult to work with, but it's really just getting your client to work with you and move with you so that you're not fighting each other, so that nothing shifts around and you don't have problems. You may see it. I'm not sure if this is the thumb I had problems with it. Yeah, I used a little bit too much gel. I had to scoop it off and then put the tip back down. And sometimes I can get it to kind of balance there. You can see I let go and it didn't really move. It depends on the curvature of the natural nail. Sometimes you can get it to create kind of like a vacuum where it can sit on top of the nail and there's no lifting. There's no air bubbles getting underneath. You can just, place it on top, jimmy it back and forth, get it to kind of like attach itself, and then move the hand underneath the lamp. Doesn't always work though. And then once you get both hands done, make sure your client flashes their hand, make sure your client fully cures their hands for 30 more seconds underneath a full lamp so that it's properly cured. The flash curing lamps do not fully cure. You want to make sure that they still stick their hand in the lamp and cure it for the full amount of time. With Gel-X nails, with the Prey gels, it's 30 seconds. With other companies, it's usually 60, sometimes 90 seconds. It depends on the company. Just make sure you check your information before you go ahead and cure, that you're curing for the full amount of time. And then usually I go in with the nippers and clip off any gel that may have leaked out. Go ahead and smooth down the join where it meets the proximal nail folds so that it's smooth and there's no lifting. And then I just want to usually buff out the surface of the nail. I know you don't need to, or at least I don't think you need to go in and buff the surface. It's gel on gel. It should be fine just going in with the color, but I just like to go that extra step and buff the surface to get that grit on the nail so that there's better adhesion from the gel products that you're putting on top. And then of course you want to just dust off the surface, make sure you get rid of any of the dust laying on top and around, and go in with a little bit of either the tip primer so that you can chemically etch and smooth out that join, or go in with a little bit of acetone, which will in effect do the same thing. Also, get rid of any excess dust that's left on the nail plate and surrounding nail bed. All right, getting into the design aspect. Now, as I've said in other videos, if you've watched them, at this point I go through my normal application process in terms of preparing the nail for gel. Even though it's a fresh new set and I've already buffed the surface, I like to still go in with the 3-step process of dehydration, priming, and then putting on a slip layer of gel. In this case, I'm using a rubber base, just so that I can seal in the edges of the nail with the nail plate, and then we're going to go in with the actual design. From here on out, I'm just going to let you watch. I'm going in with the base color, which actually in retrospect, and as I was doing her nails, I was thinking I should have gone a little bit more opaque. I was using a reference image that she had provided, and I didn't take into account that the design was likely done on top of, well, not necessarily. I was going to say it's likely done on top of natural nails, but probably not. They're probably done on extensions. But it looked like the color that they used was a little bit more natural and a little bit more opaque. And the color that I used was pretty translucent. And you can see in part of the design, you can see through the tip, which she wasn't mad about. She liked it as far as she told me. I gave her the option after I put on the first coat to switch out the base color to something that had more opacity to it. And she thought that this was fine. So I will put the information for all the products that I'm using in the description box below, but this is a very springy, summery whimsical design with a lilac French accent and some bumblebees and flowers, and very coquettish, and she really enjoyed it and I enjoyed doing it. So I'm going to let you watch it. I'm going to put up some music and I'll check back in the end. All right, as always, finishing up with hand cream and cuticle oil, and that's going to do it for this manicure. I really love this design. It came out really well. I was really in my head while doing the flowers that they looked like crap, but she made the comment without prompting or anything. Oh my God, those are the most perfect flowers I've ever seen, which always makes you feel good, especially when you're in your own head and thinking that it looks like crap. But that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Agents of the other, beyond gravel.